Hey everybody, this is Transformatron bringing you another video review, and today, as promised I think it was last week, we're going to be taking a look at Singular Act 2 by Sabrina Carpenter. But, as always, a little bit of background information about this album before we actually get into it. It was released on July 19th, 2019, so just the other day, and it's around 29 minutes long. So it's not super short, but it's not super long. And normally I don't like it when albums are really, really short. But this one doesn't bother me as much because it's a part 2. So, I don't know. It just didn't really, I don't know. I was fine with it being short since I knew that it was a part 2 anyway. Hold on. I'm trying to find out how long Act 1 was. I think it was, where was it? I think it was like 25 minutes, so this one is just a little bit longer. Not much, but just a little bit. Alright, and then, in an interview, talking about Singular Act 2, Sabrina said, and this is a quote, I quote this, "After I wrote Singular, which was one album initially, it became 2 albums over time. I describe Act 2 as Act 1 upside down, where Act 1 makes you feel comfortable with yourself, and Act 2 makes you feel a little uncomfortable with yourself, in the way that we need in order to grow. It's that, and it's also a more vulnerable side of confidence. There is also confidence in being vulnerable, and there is also strength in that weaker side of yourself and just letting your emotions run loose." So, it's basically the opposite of Singular Act 1. It's confident, but, like, vulnerable confidence. Where, like, on Sue Me, on Act 1, she was like, well, sue me because I look good, and I don't care what you think. But, like, yeah, you don't get that. This is a more, like, vulnerable confidence and not, like, in-your-face confidence. So, there have so far been 3 singles from this album. Whoops. Pushing 20 was the first one. Exhale was the second one. And In My Bed was the most recent one released. And originally, when Pushing 20 came out, I did not like this song at all. I didn't like it. But I didn't like it because she says, "I'm pushing 20, got no time for others." And that's all I heard. And I was like, ew, that's not cool. But after I got the album and I actually listened to the whole song, she says, "I'm pushing 20, ain't got time for others who ain't on the same wave." Yeah, and like in the same space. So she's saying, I'm almost 20, I don't have time to worry about people who are just gonna put me down and not, like, be there with me, and, like, I don't have time for people who are just gonna tell me what to do and tell me what to think. And so after listening to the whole thing, I actually really agree with that, because I am also pushing 20 in a way, because I will be 20 here in, like, January. So, not super soon, but you know, kind of soon. And Sabrina helped write all 9 songs on this album, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so now we're going to talk about my top 3 songs on this album. Okay, so my favorite song on this album is track 9, and it's called Looking at Me. There, you can see it. I really, really like this song because it has a very, very good beat to it. It's kind of like a Latin kind of beat, sort of. Like, let's see here, maybe I can play you a little bit of it and not get in trouble for it. Let's see here, maybe. Yeah, and then that part kicks in, and that's the part I really, really like. Anyway, okay. That should be fine, I hope. Anyway, yeah, that's my favorite song from the album. Well, my first favorite song. And in the, I think it's the second chorus, I really like the line, because she says, "Don't you bring any bull in the room tonight, it's a whole new rodeo." I don't know, that line makes me laugh. It's really funny, and it's really creative, and I really like it. My second favorite song on this album is Exhale, which is track 7. Oop, ow, right there. This song is a little bit, actually it's a lot more stripped back. I believe it is the shortest song on the album. I think it's like 2 minutes and 42 seconds or something like that. It's 2 minutes and 45 seconds. I was 2 seconds off. So yeah, that's definitely the shortest song on the album. I really like this song because it's very, very relatable, at least for me, because she's talking about, like, how, like, everyone's expecting her to do all this stuff, and she's like, well, can't I just breathe for a second? Can I exhale? Can we talk about it, you know? Like, I don't know, it was just really relatable feeling like, you know, like, I just need to breathe, like, just leave me alone, let me breathe for a second. And then my third favorite song on this album is the first song on the album, In My Bed. This one's, now, by the title, you would think it's talking about, but it's not. It's actually really cool. She's talking about, like, anxiety and stuff, like little things weighing really, really heavily when they shouldn't, and hypothetically she could, like, let it go easily, but she's still in her bed about it. So that's pretty cool. And the beat is also really good on this one. I really like that beat. Alright, so now for my least favorite song on the album, and I said song. I only dislike one song on this album, and that would be track 3, Can't Stop Me. And the only reason I don't like this song is because of the featured artist. My goodness, like, this song would be 1,000 times better without the featured artist. It's awful with, oh my gosh, I can't stand it. It's so bad. Like, if it was just Sabrina, it would be fine because Sabrina's a queen. But with the featured artist, it's not okay. It's just bad. Anyway, more songs that I think are really good besides the whole album, except for that one. I really like I'm Fakin'. That's pretty cool. It's also got a good beat, and the lyrics are really fun. Take Off All Your Cool is good. Take You Back is really good. Like, all the songs, except for Can't Stop Me. Anyway, okay, so let's take a look at the inside. We've already, actually, before we take a look at the inside, here's Act 2. Here's Act 1. And so, you can see, obviously, they're different covers, but, in Act 1, you see she's kind of like in a crowd. Kind of, but they're blurred. So I thought that was really interesting. I'm not sure what exactly that means. But, yeah, I don't know. I just thought that was really interesting how in Act 1 she's, like, in the crowd and stuff. And then here she's all by herself in it. It's kind of dark and weird. But, yeah. Anyway, also a thing that I just noticed. They both kind of have these beads type thing running along the sides. Silver beads on Act 1 and gold on Act 2. Anyway, so I looked at that. It's got the same type of track listing on Act 2 as Act 1. That weird thing. Sabrina Carpenter, Act 2. Already seen the front cover. Let's take a look at the inside. I really like the way the CD looks. I think it's really cool. It kind of looks like it's got stitches, which is cool. And then if you take the CD out, there's a really cool picture of her, which is basically just the front cover. But I really like that. That's pretty cool. And then, taking a quick look at the booklet on the inside, we have the lyrics. Thank you, Sabrina, because, yeah, I literally can't when there are no lyrics. It's so annoying. But she was amazing and put all the lyrics in there. Thank you. But yeah, so it's just lyrics, and then in the same way that Act 1 did, there's just like little snippets and stuff of her and, you know, all that fun stuff. Get to know the cast again, which is basically the thank yous. And then over here, thought this is pretty good. Cool. Alright, hope you had time to read that. If not, you can just rewind it and pause it. But yeah, I think that about does it for Singular Act 2. I think this is a very, very good album. I think it is a lot better than Singular Act 1. And I'm not saying that Singular Act 1 was bad, because before this came out, Act 1 was the bomb. But this is the bomb now. Act 2 is the bomb now. This is good. This is good, but this is better. This is better. Yeah. So, I would give this album a 10 out of 10. I would definitely go buy it. And also, like Singular Act 1, this is a Target edition CD. I mean, I don't really remember what I seen in the Act 1 review, but I think I found it on Amazon too. But that's probably because this was released in 2018. So I think at first it's only a Target edition. So, and it's really cheap too. It's only like $7.99 before tax. So go buy it because it's really cheap and it's really worth it. I definitely recommend buying this album. It's so good. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Remember that you can find me on Instagram at Mixmaster336, and keep an eye out for my next review.